screen.
Good evening. Welcome to the reorganizational meeting for Lower Frederick Township, January 5th. We're going to open this evening with our swearing-in ceremony.
Perfect.
You want to salute the flag first?
We can do that, yes.
That sounds good. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Crystal, if we can have, go up in front.
I state your name. Having been elected to the office of Township Supervisor in Lower Frederick Township, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. In Lower Frederick Township, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Yes. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Daniel Ward,
Having been elected to the office of Township Supervisor
to the office of Township Supervisor
in Lower Frederick Township, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania,
in Lower Frederick Township, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will discharge
and I will discharge
the duties of my office with fidelity.
the duties of my office with fidelity.
Pam? Or
Paula.
Paul, sorry.
Repeat after me. I state your name. Having been elected to the office of Township Auditor Okay, we will proceed on now with our reorganizational board appointments. First on the agenda is the Chair of the Board of Supervisors. Is there a motion put forward?
I move to nominate Noel. No?
Normally, what happens is you appoint a temporary chair to ask for the nominations. I think either I or Jason have done it in the past. So let me, yeah, I can ask. It's a formality, but. So I'd like to call for nominations for Chair of the Board of Supervisors.
I nominate Noel Halter as chair.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, would we have a second for Noel Halter?
I will second it.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 The vote is unanimous, and I hand the gavel back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, next, we'll be putting forward a motion for a nomination for Vice Chair. I will make the nomination for Marla Hexter. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Danworth?
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a PSATS voting delegation. I guess,
Who's going?
yeah, who wants to go? Crystal, you want to go? You want to be a voting delegate?
Are you going, Dan? It's April 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd.
We just need one person. I mean, numerous people can go, but we need at least one voting delegate. You want to be that one? Okay. So the motion is put to, for nomination for PSAT's voting delegate, Crystal Guarena. Is there a motion? I will make that motion. Is there a second?
I will second.
Supervisor Hexter makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. The next motion is for vacancy board. Have you reached out to Reverend? He is interested again? Okay. Is there a motion for Reverend Matt Finney for the vacancy board?
Also move.
Supervisor Hexter makes the motion. Is there a second? I will make that second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. We're on to our staff and other appointments. First is our township manager, assisting zoning officer, secretary, treasurer, right-to-know officer, pension chief, administration officer, payroll administrator. The appointee is Jason Wager. Is there a motion? Or we're just making appointments?
Are we doing this as a consent agenda?
Yeah, normally you could do, it says consent agenda, so you can vote on each of the headings and not all the individual.
All of them at the same time?
Yes, unless someone wants to pull one of them out. The way you normally could do it is you can ask, do any of the supervisors wish to pull out any of the nominations underneath that particular list? The supervisor can say so, in which case you then discuss that particular one. And then you, after that discussion, you can either just eliminate that one for the vote, or you can vote on all of them.
Okay, so we can do this as one big lump, pulling out ones at this time if we want.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so at this time, altogether for staff and other appointments, we have the township manager, as I indicated. We are going to be getting consensus on that this evening. The Earned Income Tax Agency, Township Planning Commissioner Solicitor, Township Engineer, Building Code Enforcement, Wastewater Engineer, Township Auditor, Fire Marshal, and UCC Appeals Board Member. The items being removed from this consensus vote this evening will be the Deputy Emergency Management Coordinators, Emergency Management Staff, and the Deputy Fire Marshal. At this time, it's felt that for procedural purposes, in order to create these positions, we would need to pass a resolution and move forward with making those appointments at our next meeting in February. So our staff positions, as I read, was Township Manager, Earned Income Tax, the Emergency Management Coordinator appointee as Edward Bacon, Earned Income Tax Collection Agency as Berkheimer Tax Administrators, Township and Planning Commissioner Solicitor Grimbine and Thatcher, Representative Peter Nelson Esquire, Township Engineer is Value Engineering by Carol Schuler, P.E., Building Code, Code Enforcement and Zoning Officer, Floodplain Administrator Barry Isaac and Associates, being represented by Matt McCluskey. Our wastewater engineer is Hydroterra Professionals, represented by Robert Preston. Township appointed auditor, Jason, can you correct me on the last, this Cherry, what is that? How do you pronounce that? Bakert?
Sounds good to me.
Cherry Bakert, who just recently took over Urbine, who was our previous solicitor, our township auditor. And the UCC Appeals Board member is Joshua Aiken. Is there any discussion on any of these? Okay, seeing none, is there general consensus for all of these appointments? Thought it was consensus.
Sorry, Peter, we have to vote on this?
There should be a motion and a vote.
Okay.
Second and vote.
Okay. I've read all of these off. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Supervisor Orff makes the motion. Is there a second?
I will
make that-
second.
Oh, okay. Supervisor Guerrero makes the second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next are depositories and news publications. Victory Bank for financial institutions, Victory Bank, Univest, Great Eastern Management, Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, and for news publications, the Pottstown Mercury. Is there a motion to approve these?
Also move.
Supervisor Hexter makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Supervisor Sachs makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, we are going to table all appointments to boards and commissions and committees, except for the Park Board, so that they can have a quorum to have their meeting in January. The rest of these, we need to obtain some additional information and allow the newest members of our board to have a chance to look at some of the applications that have come in and consider some of the members whose terms are up, and we would like to know if they still have interest in continuing to serve. So we're going to skip over to the Park Board. Okay, so for Parks and Rec, the recommendations for appointments for Sandy Keck with the term expiring, is this the expiring term, 12/31 of 2030? And Donna Bullen with the term expiring on 12/31, 2030. Can I get a motion for those appointments?
I will make the motion.
Supervisor Guerrero makes the motion. I will make the second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We'll move on.
Sorry, can I just ask someone, maybe Peter or Jason, to clarify whether or not those members who are up for renewal but have not been renewed today, can they still attend the January meetings?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Next on our agenda is the zoning, that's the zoning hearing board. That's the one we're going to be waiting on. Okay, so we're moving on to our articles of township business. I'm going to simply read this all off. Jason, Peter, is that fine? I'll read this all off? Okay. Treasurer bond and bill payment pursuant to Article, Section 702 of the Second Class Township Code, the Board of Supervisors hereby establishes the bond for the treasurer and assistant treasurer in the amount of $1 million. The treasurer is authorized to pay routine bills prior to supervisors' meetings as due and necessary. Employee wages and benefits. All regular full-time employees shall receive wages and adjustments as approved by via Resolution 2026-R-02. Employee benefits as outlined in the non-uniform handbook adopted in August of 2025 and the 2021-2025 Police Department Contract Addendum. Mileage reimbursements shall be in accordance with the IRS standards of .725 per mile for 2026. 2026 Township Meeting Schedule and Hours of Operation. I believe we have a little bit of a discussion on this particular item. We were put forward a couple suggestions that we would be changing. There's two options. One is to change it to the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month, or what was the other one? The first Thursday?
The second Thursday and the second Tuesday, or fourth Tuesday, sorry.
Personally, I would prefer the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month. Is there any discussion on this? Does anyone have a question, recommendation?
Do we need to vote on, because I think that's on our regular meeting. How is this going to work? Isn't there an agenda item on our meeting that follows this?
No. We probably need a consensus on this particular item here, and
Yeah.
then we can.
I
follow
included
with
it as
everything.
part of the reorg.
Yes.
That's why I put an "or" in the resolution.
Okay, so my preference is to stick with Tuesdays. I have a ask of my colleagues on the board. I have a already scheduled time I will be out of town in March. March has 5 Tuesdays, so I request that could we meet on the 4th Tuesday in March? Just that one change. We still will have 2 weeks before our next general meeting. So that would be, instead of March 17, meet on March 24, I believe.
I don't have an objection to it. Does this kind of change anything with the schedule that we, no.
Now, so we haven't advertised our schedule, so what'll happen is when you guys decide what you want to, we'll send out the advertisement with the Board of Supervisors meetings, and then all the ABCs, the volunteer boards and stuff, so.
Is everyone okay with that? Does anyone have an objection? It's just that 1 month that we're moving it to the 4th Tuesday. Terry, you okay?
I don't have a problem with it. We're
Okay.
staying with the same
Yes.
Tuesdays. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
so it'll be the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of every month,
That's fine.
except for March. And you'll make sure that gets all rolled into the advertisement.
And then April would be the other one, just because that's the third Tuesdays of PSATs. So that's,
PSATs.
yeah, that's the one
Understood.
we usually bump
Okay.
it to.
All right, so we'll be settling on the first Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month, aside from the PSATs date and the conflict that Marla has in March. All meetings will convene at 7 p.m. and are open to the public. Please check the township website, www.lowerfrederick.org, and township Facebook page for meeting cancellations. Unless otherwise posted, the Lower Frederick Township Planning Commission will meet the third Thursday of each month for their regular business meeting. All meetings will convene at the Township Building at 7 p.m. and are open to the public. Unless otherwise posted, the Lower Frederick Township Environmental Advisory Council will meet the third Tuesday of each month. All meetings will convene at the Township Building at 7:15 p.m. and are open to the public. Unless otherwise posted, the Lower Frederick Township's Park and Rec Board will meet the first Monday of each month for the regular business meeting, with the following exception: January 12th instead of January 5th. All meetings will convene at the Township Building at 7 p.m. and are open to the public. Unless otherwise posted, the Lower Frederick Township Open Space Committee will meet the second Wednesday of each month for their regular business meeting. All meetings will convene at the Township Building at 7 p.m. and are open to the public. The Lower Frederick Township Zoning Hearing Board will convene on the second and fourth Monday of each month as needed. All hearings will be scheduled and advertised in compliance with state law. The Agricultural Security Committee will convene as needed. The Township Administrative Offices will open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily. Monday through Friday unless posted otherwise, with the exception of holidays referenced in Resolution 2025-R-28 as approved township observed holidays. Special appointments can be made as needed. The Public Works Department, regular hours shall be 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., Monday through Friday, with the exception of holidays referenced in Resolution 2025-R-28.
Sorry, I have one question. Have all the boards and commissions scheduled meetings been checked against major holidays? To be sure there's no conflict, like 4th of July, Veterans Day, all of those?
I assume you received feedback from all the boards.
Can you,
We did, including, just so that, right now, the EAC is scheduled for the same night as, which would be the board work session. We did let the current chair know, but till they meet again, they may have to adjust on the fly because they wanted to move it to that. They were changing their meeting date again, so.
I'm talking about all the other holidays, like again.
I did not verify for the ABCs. I would assume if they needed to move, I mean, that's kind of part of what they should be doing. But
so-
I can before I send an advertisement out.
That would be helpful and save us having to make a change later in the year. Thank you.
Does anyone have any other points of interest? Any questions? Okay, so are we taking public questions? Peter? Okay, go ahead, Diane.
Diane from the EAC. Just to let you know, we thought the board might be changing to the third Tuesday, so we will be flexible. We'll have to get
Okay, just yeah, you can talk to Jason about that. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so if there's no other discussion on this, I would like to make the motion to approve all of these with the caveat that Jason check with all the ABCs to make sure that there's no conflict with any of the holidays. Is there a second?
I will second.
Supervisor Hexer makes the second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. I believe this is the time we move into our regularly scheduled general meeting.
Could I ask a question for clarification?
Certainly.
We have two resolutions listed on the agenda for the reorg meeting, and just wanted, there's an R1, 2026R-01 up the top and a 2026R-02. Did we vote on either of those, or what?
That's a question for Jason.
So I would like the board to vote on the wages resolution since that's complete. Obviously, the reorg resolution, that's going to change. The motions were made for those individual sections, so that approval can go through, but since that resolution's still incomplete without making the other appointments, and then we can adopt that when the board chooses to make those appointments. But yes, I was wanting to adopt the 2026 R-02 before you guys move to your regular meeting.
You clear now?
I understand.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So we're moving on to our general meeting agenda this evening. First up, excuse me?
Actually, what we're looking for is a motion and a vote on, Resolution 02.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
didn't
Jason's
vote.
asking for, even though it was part of the consent agenda.
Okay.
Because that's complete.
And this is for the employee wages and benefits?
Wages, yes.
Wages and benefits, okay. So even though it's part of this, we still have to do a separate,
It's the formal resolution confirming the wages that have been approved.
okay. Peter, could you make the motion? Could you read off a motion for that then?
Hereby move to approve Resolution R 2026-02.
As it applies to the employee wages and benefits. Is there
Yes.
Can I get a motion?
I will make the motion.
Supervisor Guarena makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Supervisor Sachs makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Now we can move on to our general meeting agenda. First up is an administrative action, the meeting minutes for October 15th of 2025. This was a special meeting had by the supervisors to discuss the budget. Would someone like to make the motion to approve them? Does anyone have any questions?
I will make the motion to approve the minutes for our special meeting on October 15th, 2025.
Supervisor Hexter makes the motion. Is there a second? I will make the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'm not going to vote because we weren't privy to we weren't on the board at the time or participated, and nor have we read the meeting minutes. So
Yeah, there's no legal requirement that you have attended, you attend a meeting and then vote on the minutes.
Okay.
It's a common practice, but that's just it. It's a practice, not a legal requirement. So, yeah, I mean, there are places where the majority of the board wasn't on the board, the prior year, but they still are required to approve the minutes, so,
All right, just checking.
yeah.
Okay, then yes. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, yeah.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, up next is our treasurer's report. Jason?
Okay, so this is for activity through the end of the year. For the general fund, we ended the year, and keep in mind, we still need to do some final shoring up of 2025, but net income of negative $50,509, which outperformed the budget by $177,000. For revenue, we were over budget by 8.3%, or $206,339. Our strongest performer throughout the year was charges for services, which is where our permits are. They were 90.1%, or $97,000 over budget. Weakest performer was still over budget, but that was license and permits at 0.2%, or $126 over budget. We received 108.3% of our annual revenue. As far as the expenses, we were over budget by 1.1%, or $28,000. Key drivers as far as putting us over budget was repair and maintenance for the township building, engineer services, wages for patrol officers, consultant, zoning and building, roads and bridges contractors, highway rentals, and contracted services / mowing. We received significant savings under legal services, police O&M, public works wages, public works health insurance, and line striping. At the end of the year, we were at 101.1% of our annual expense. As far as the general capital fund, ended the year at net income of $232,393. We were $151,000 over budget. There's a typo in there, due primarily to the unbudgeted DCD grant for the police vehicle that we purchased, the public works donation, and interest. Expenses for the year were under $304,000 under budget, mainly due to the admin and building projects not being completed, public works equipment not purchased, and our Coble Park Rehabilitation Phase 1 was not done due to not receiving that grant. As far as the sewer fund, ended the year with a net income of negative $298,836, which was $197,000 under budget. We were 9%, or $111,000 under budget for sewer revenue. That was mainly in sewer rent, sewer use charges, where we were 1.3%, or $12,981 under budget. And the big number, which was the sewer connection tap-in fees, we were 77.9, or $134,000 under budget. And that was primarily, we did not receive any tap-in fees for the Melbourne project. Expenses, we were 6.3%, or $195,000 over budget. This was spread out broadly across multiple line items, with primarily utilities, supplies, chemicals, and R&M, repair and maintenance for the wastewater plant, and the transfer to the sewer capital from tapping fees being the most significant. There was savings in the I&I project line item and sewer engineering. Year-to-date progress, we received 91% of revenue, and we spent 106.3% of our expenses, the budget expenses. Sewer capital fund, we ended the year net income of $299,301. Revenue was 44.5%, or $100,940 over budget, due to the $200,000 transfer from 2023-2024 tap-in fees and the $118,000 transfer for sewer capital CIP contribution. Expenses was 22.8 or 96,000 under budget.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, that figures right. Main expense under sewer capital was for the sewer, the Zieglerville Road sewer extension planning at 28,000, and the savings was for equipment or project not purchased or projects not completed. Liquid fuels fund, we ended the year at negative 17,492, exceeding our budget by 51,000. Our expenses for the year was road salt, the fourth truck loan payment, and our oil and chip progress. We received 105.1% of the revenue and spent 82.5% of the budgeted expense. Open space fund, ended the year in a net income of 85,288, which exceeded budget by 113,104. Revenue was over budget by 7,922. Expenses, we only spent 36,961. And that was for EIT commission, for legal reviews, for 138 Yeager Road and the Barber property. We did contribute to the county ag for 8 SEP Road preservation, and the Barber property preservation was not completed as of the end of the year, which puts us at, we have 392,133, which excludes that allocations for that grant for that property. Year-to-date progress, we received 106.9% of revenue and spent 26% of the budgeted expense. And then ARPA hasn't changed other than we spent the remaining money that was in that fund, and we did earn $3,286 in interest, which was transferred to the general fund. Any questions?
I have none. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to our next agenda item, payment of bills. From December 1st to December 31st of 2025, the general fund for $79,251.39, the sewer fund for $41,360.26, sewer capital fund for $1,743, open space fund $110, liquid fuels fund $4,268.23, general fund capital for $2,195.09. And Jason, I'm going to assume that these checks are available for us to sign at the end. Okay. Okay, can I get a motion to pay the bills?
Also move.
Supervisor Hexter makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Supervisor Orff makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. And we are on to our professional staff and reports. We can begin with our engineers report. Carol.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the board for reappointment as Lower Frederick Township Engineer. 2026 actually marks 30 years since I first became Township Engineer in Lower Frederick Township, and it's been an honor and a privilege to serve for so long. The items in this report are generally informational. At Melbourne Hill, a subcontractor has been installing gas main behind the curb of the new roads. We continue to perform site inspections at Melbourne Hill after each significant rainfall. At Farmview Estates, the home construction continues. The Artisan project, or the Landis tract, plans received conditional approval from this township board in December. 225 Big Road, one of those developments with a lot of names. It's also known as JEP or Genterra. It's a 30-lot subdivision on Big Road opposite the middle school. This plan was on the agenda of the November 20th meeting of the Township Planning Commission. The township had anticipated a need for a special study that would support sewage planning in this watershed. It's the Scioto Creek watershed. And the conditional use approval actually included a requirement that the developer reimburse the township for the cost of that special study. Well, during the month of December, we were in consultation with PADEP, and DEP updated their determination to advise that a special study will not be required. Now, in recent days, the developer has submitted an application for conditional use relating to steep slopes, and I'm sure that'll be on an upcoming agenda for the board. Another project that's out there is 115 Second Avenue. It's the subdivision of an existing undeveloped parcel on the undedicated portion of Second Avenue. They want to subdivide that into 2 parcels. It was also on the agenda of the November 20th meeting of the Township Planning Commission. This applicant must resolve zoning issues before proceeding with this plan. The township stormwater inlet mapping has been provided in GIS format and shared with the Public Works Department and the township staff. The maps include inlet locations, inlet numbers, and can be viewed on staff smartphones rather than carrying large paper prints. The last thing on my list is the Meng Road Special Study. So the study draft will be shared with the township manager so that he can distribute it to the Board of Supervisors in coming days. The selected disposal alternative is continued use of the existing on-lot sewage disposal systems in that study area. And the next steps with that will include submissions to the township and county planning commissions, to the county health department, and then eventually it goes on to public comment and resolution by the board. So those are all the items in my report this evening, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does anyone have any questions for Carol?
Yes, I have a question. Carol, just out of curiosity, the DEP came back and said there would be no study required at the Gentera site. Did they give a reason why for DeSoto Creek?
Well, let me make sure I'm speaking clearly. There won't be a special study required, which is what we did for, say, the Goshen-Hoppen watershed when we changed our Act 537 plan. When we did the township-wide Act 537 plan in 2014, we left that watershed. We said if a pumping station is needed, we recognize that we'll need to do a special study. We're talking to them now. We're not doing a pumping station. We're doing low-pressure force main from Gentera into the existing system. There was extensive consultation with DEP, and they said in that case, Gentera will still need to do a full Component 3 sewage facilities planning module, but the township itself won't have to do a special study to address the entire watershed.
That's
And
good,
that's
thank you.
because there, at this time, is no pumping station.
I suspect that's a big part of it. We're just dealing with one property, not an entire watershed. Exactly.
Thank you, Carol.
I have a question about something that's not on your report. Work has stopped. Looks like there's nothing going on at the Melbourne Hills property. Do we know anything more about what may happen in the near future, or do we just not know anything?
I have a lot of rumors, but I don't think I want to spread rumors at a public meeting. What I can tell you is they finished the loop road. They didn't build the cul-de-sac piece that extends further out the back. But the gas main is going in right now, the sewer line is in, the water is in. So the infrastructure is in place, and I don't know who will build there or when they will start. But before they do, they still have to resubmit the final plan to this group with a property boundary change. No houses are going to be built until that's resolved. So there's still some steps before any houses are built out there.
And they're still on the clock with the legal agreement we have.
I'll defer that to the solicitor.
Still on the clock and this
Well, we have a
last
legal
little bit.
agreement which gave them a certain number of years to complete everything.
I think it was 7.
It's 7 years, but I don't know if that's a completion. I'd have to go back and look at the agreement. I think it's actually having to start things, not complete them. And that being the case, I think they've have that trigger.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, because we have, at this point in time, we have money in hand. So if they walk away from the job and they don't complete it, we do have the necessary funds to close out the project. You know, if we want to complete the roads, we can complete the roads. We need to complete, you know, any other public improvements. We have the funds to do that at that time, at this time. So, we certainly could do that if we need to.
Okay, any other questions? If not, we'll be moving on to our solicitor's report.
None.
Okay. And now our township staff reports. Police.
Thank you. For December, we had 229 calls for service. We conducted 29 traffic stops, issued 15 traffic citations. Excuse me. And then just a recap for 2025, Police Department handled 4,152 calls, which is 6.5% increase over 2024. We conducted 855 traffic stops, issued 545 traffic tickets. We conducted 375 traffic details, and we handled 56 motor vehicle crashes for the year.
Impressive. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
So how do the numbers of just the traffic enforcement and the vehicle crashes, how does that compare to prior years? Is it consistent or is it going up?
It's about the crashes are about on pace. I know for a fact that we're doing a lot more traffic enforcement, traffic details, but I don't have the number in front of me, but it's about the same.
So people aren't getting the message, and
I would safe to say yes.
thank you.
So Chief, the crashes, were all those crashes in Lower Frederick, or were they?
Yes, they were all Lower Frederick, whether they were reportable, non-reportable. Out of that 56, some of them are fender benders, where it's just an information exchange. Others are disabling crashes where we're having to tow.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Next report is, I'm sorry, did you have a question about the police report? Can you come up to the microphone? Okay, hold on, Gail. Hold on.
Where are most of those crashes located?
All throughout the township. I mean, a lot of them are,
Or is it a cluster?
no, they occur all areas of the township.
Now, you also said that you had additional calls. Is there a particular subject that seems to repeat itself a lot with the calls that you're getting?
You mean the types of calls, ma'am? It's anywhere from domestics to investigations to juvenile. It's a whole gamut. There's not one particular thing.
Not one dominant.
No, it's very spread out. You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to move on now to the, excuse me, the fire company. Is anyone here from the fire company to give a report?
They're not. I did talk to
CJ?
Chief. I did talk to CJ, and if you've noticed, he's changed their report. So I can give that report for him.
Okay. Do they have, are they going to come and give
He's
their reports
planning
in
to
the
be,
future?
he,
That would
he
be
had
great.
a training, that kind of.
There was a conflict there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
All
sorry,
right.
yeah,
All right.
yes. But they did change their report around to try to give more information to the board than what we've been getting from the county. That's what I've been presenting.
Okay, thank you.
So for the month of December, they had 25 total calls. For the year 2025, they had a total of 228. Their primary incident in December would have been vehicle accident with or without injuries. They had 6, and then 5 fire alarms and 2 vehicle accidents with rescues. Also 2 electric fire outside, or 3 electrical fire outside. As far as the response by municipality, they had 9 calls in Lower Frederick, 3 in Schwenksville Borough, 8 in Upper Salford, 2 in Perkiomen Township, and 3 in Upper Frederick Township. For the month, they had 6 hours of training for 13 events. That doesn't sound right. So this may be a work in progress as far as that data goes. Monthly training, they did do practice ski lift evacuation with Company 78 and County USAR, and they did a building construction review. As far as community events, they did a Santa. They were at the Lower Frederick Park, the Christmas event that our Park and Rec put on, and they had the Santa Run that they do every year in Lower Frederick and Schwenksville Borough. Yes, Noel. Do you just want me to rattle up? If anybody has questions, obviously, we'll. As far as Plymouth Ambulance, so for the month of December, they had 29 calls for service in Lower Frederick for a total of 266 for 2025. Their primary area coverage of Perkiomen, Schwenksville, Upper Frederick, and Upper Salford, they had 71 in December for a total of 924 for 2025. And they had 43 calls for service with, as far as mutual aid outside their primary coverage area for a total of 314. Okay, moving on. Public Works report for December. The department performed 2 sump pump inspections, installed a new bollard at Cuddy Park, assisted the park board with their event at Village Center Park, responded to many callouts for trees down and road closures, installed a new DO probe, I'm not sure what a DO is, and tank 2 at the sewer plant. They built storage shelves at the sewer plant, cleaned buildings at the plant. They did work multiple snow events throughout the month. Repaired the plows and equipment. They did prep their mower for winter mowing of sewer right-of-ways at Colonial Park, and installed rail stops for overhead crane hoist at the Delphi pump station. Okay. Moving on, the sewer engineers report. In the month of December, we did do the sledge hauling bid close, which is on tonight's agenda. That did close on December 30th. We received 5 bids were submitted and reviewed. The LSA, I think this was reported last month, but the LSA grant application was completed by at the direction of the board and submitted on November 26th. They have reviewed the draft special study and transmitted the information to Value Engineering for the Mang Road study. They have reviewed the shop drawings and plans submitted for the 6 Little Road Saks, the sewer extension project. And that's it for new information for the month of December.
So I actually went over the sewer, it's, I mean, there's more things on there, but they're kind of like super hierarchy kind of things. Maybe we should ask him to maybe put something together that you don't have to like parse through. You can just like boop it off.
Okay.
Or write it in something that
Yeah.
you can relay that everyone can understand.
Yeah, I mean, there's many things on here. It's engineered.
I mean, I know what they are, and that they do have to do with the township, and I think it would, for transparency purposes, we should be able to tell people what our sewer engineer is doing. He might just want to put it in a different format that's more pedestrian.
Okay,
Okay,
ongoing. That's still a new one.
yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, the zoning code enforcement report. So for the month of December, they received 9 building permits and 4 zoning for a total of 13. They approved 8 building permits and 4 zoning permits for a total of 12. 3 building and 2 zoning permits for a total of 5 were completed. 152 reminders for on-lot pumping reports due were sent out by the township. 7 resale UNOs were issued, 2 road opening and 9 burn permits, and we received 25 pumping reports. I did get a yearly total permits. That's part of your report for tonight. They approved 122 building permits. 109 were submitted in 2025, and 33 of those permits have been completed. As far as zoning, they approved 109. 92 were submitted, and 44 of those projects were completed. As the board may recall, there was some carryover from 2024 in our transition.
Okay, does anyone have any questions about any of these reports?
I don't have a question, but I want to thank our road crew for being out there right away when it snowed, especially that first big one. That was very heavy, so
Early in the morning.
Yeah, I was out there
I
shoveling.
was up, I watched you drive by.
Yeah, so thank you. You guys work hard and it's really appreciated.
Did a good job, thanks. Okay, up next is our Township Boards and Commission reports, EAC. Would that be you, Diane? Okay. Make sure that mic is on. I don't know if that mic is on.
Okay, the EAC met on December 8th. The EAC met on December 8th. Our Green Energy Committee reported on blower door tests that determine building tightness for energy efficiency and air quality. We also shared information about the energy and water usage of artificial intelligence and data centers as the growth of AI seems imminent. The Stormwater Committee discussed possible Perkiomen watershed stream cleanup sites for the EAC to sponsor. The EAC made plans to contact the Penn State Master Gardener Speaker Series for possible presentations. One we're considering is strategies and tricks for controlling deer browse, damage in our yards and woods, and presentations on ecological restoration. And this month's Did You Know is a link to a website with information about the environmental impact, including energy and water usage of AI data centers. We also are providing the tip that if you simply type in -AI when you're doing a Google search, it will avoid you using AI, because you don't always want to use AI. And there's lots of discussions about the information is not as accurate as you might find if you're not using AI. So make sure you put a space and then -AI. So any questions?
You mean the word minus or just the symbol minus?
Just the symbol minus. You don't even have to capitalize AI. It's just your question, space, -AI. And about 95% of the time, you won't use AI. It kind of slips through there sometimes.
That's very helpful because if you think about every time you use AI, it's a bottle of water.
Right, it's a lot. And so there'll be information about that energy and water usage on our Did You Know? Anything else?
I have none. Does anyone have any other questions, comments? Oh, thank you, Diane.
You're welcome.
Okay, next is the Open Space Committee. Did they meet?
They didn't meet.
I didn't think so. Okay, so the Open Space Committee did not meet. Parks and Rec.
So I'll read this as Katie has a conflict.
Oh, she does?
Yep.
Do you want to do it?
She did send me a report.
We've got a rep from the Park Board right here.
You're welcome. Alrighty, so our January meeting has not yet been held this month. It is currently scheduled for next week. This will be our reorg, in which we'll nominate our chair, vice chair, and secretary. Additionally, we're looking forward to hopefully welcoming our new members of the Park Board. Since last report, we had a successful first annual Giving Tree holiday fundraiser, so we'd like to thank anyone that had a hand in that. Overall, it was a successful event, and we plan to discuss lessons learned in more detail at our next meeting. The Park Board's looking forward to another eventful and productive year. Thanks.
Terrific. Thank you, Becky.
Yep.
Okay, Planning Commission? Ernie, okay. Oh,
We had no December meeting for a lot of reasons, and that's not really clear yet because we had some things going on, but they never materialized. We are still waiting for comments. We're working on the village mixed use, and we're looking at reviews on that. We've covered that the last couple months, so we've had commentary from the Planning Commission, the Montgomery County Planning Commission, about that. And as far as I know, right now, it's left with the Board of Supervisors, and we have 2 new supervisors tonight that should work with us on that. So we have 5 people. So the township manager can review where we're at that point, and we'll make sure at our next meeting that we'll cover this village mixed use again because we have 2 new supervisors. And that's the extent of my report from now. For now, our manager did cover some items that we're working on with her. So I'm not going to repeat that because I don't have all the notes for that, and I want to make sure I have that right. Thank you. If you don't have any comments, I'll sit down.
No, thank you, Ernie. I appreciate that input.
Okay,
I have a
thank you
question. Are
very
we
much.
going to see written recommendations about the village mixed use?
We have given comments back to that. I think we've left it right now at this juncture. While we still have comments, we're looking for comments from the Board of Supervisors. I had talked last month, I guess the month in November, about some of the issues we have with village mixed use because of the acreage we would need if we wanted to get a lot, and what the closeness is of a lot of village mixed use that's spread out through this area of Montgomery County. So we're not hurting for stores, and thank God we have our CVS here as our mainstay in the township that helps people, with medical items, things like that.
No, what I meant was you said you're looking for comments, just generally looking for comments on the existing ordinance, or do you have some?
The existing
updates
ordinance
you want us to
would have
comment
to
on?
be amended. If you've looked at the commentary from Montgomery County Planning Commission, you can see the items that they've stressed, the amount of commercial uses spread throughout the county. And so we are awaiting comments from the Board of Supervisors.
I guess, I'm sorry, Jason, do we have some written document for us to comment on?
I think that's what we're trying to nail down here, is that there's times where the planning commission, things go before the planning commission. Some supervisors go to those meetings, some don't.
Right.
If we don't have your comments and recommendations to present to us in writing, we don't have much to go on unless we watch the meeting.
So I've got it. I've provided
You
it to
do have
Crystal and
written-
Dan.
Okay.
It's going to be on.
And I think going forward,
gonna
it
be
might
on the
be a
next
good
work
practice
session.
for the planning commission to actually make written recommendations, give them to Jason, and then it gets to us, and then we can make comments back to you.
Okay, and also remember, with the loss of Phil Smith.
I know.
We have a lot of knowledge that's not getting spread out as much as it used to.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we're going to have to work with. We need a good secretary again, and it's going to be hard to replace Phil.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ernie.
Right.
Okay, that's it for our boards and commissions reports. We're going to move on to our business. First is authorization to prepare a bid for the 2026 Oil and Chip Road Project. Carol?
Thank you. So this would be to start the work towards getting bids out for the equipment for pavement preservation. What we did last year is we bid the emulsion through CoStars, and then we did an equipment bid for actually putting it down, and it saved us a good bit of money. That worked out well for the township. So upon the board's authorization, we would begin assembling that plan for 2026. We have a list of roads that was part of a plan generated years ago, which roads to do which year. We'll fine tune that list a little bit as we go forward. And also fine tune exactly how we're going to treat these roads. I want to have a conversation with the emulsion manufacturer too on some of the problems that were experienced throughout the state last year, including in Lower Frederick, and how those will be mitigated this year. So I'd be looking for an authorization. I know there's a not to exceed in your number. If you give me a not to exceed of $3,000, that would be enough for me to go ahead and work on this and put together a bid package to present to the board for your future authorization to advertise.
So was that was pretty much what it was last year, not to exceed $3,000. Do we remember what the not to exceed was? Not off the top of your head? Okay. All right. It's a ballpark, it's a reasonable number. Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Carol, last year when they did the chip and seal on Gerloff, right? That's where we encountered difficulty due to the excessive temperature, and then at the expense of the contractor, they utilized, I forget the method you called it. It's a finer grain of grit that was used.
So they did a slurry on top of the chip seal, which in pavement preservation lingo is called a cape seal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cape seal. So one of the questions, and it was raised at the time, the would it be possible to get the comparison of the two processes? I know you mentioned it was more expensive to do the Cape Seal stuff,
Yes,
but
sir.
from the standpoint of the Gerloff Road people weren't the first people to express,
How nice it was.
well, they liked the Cape Seal, but they weren't the first group of people to express their dissatisfaction with chip and seal from the standpoint of, initially, it's a real, when it's first done, it's problematic. And I know it's more expensive, but it might be good to get an idea of what the comparison is and what's the longevity of this stuff, one versus the other, if they have some information like that, so we can do a comparison, just so we can get back to citizens when they ask us, why can't we have what you gave the people on Gerloff?
So we actually did that in the fall of this year, and I'll make sure you get that memo.
Okay.
I believe the number was 3.6 times as expensive as chip seal, as double chip seal. So it's quite a bit more expensive. If we did more Cape Seal, we couldn't do as many roads each year.
Okay.
However, what we did 2 years ago, we accepted an offer from the contractor to try fog seal, which was at no cost to the township. We tried it on a cul-de-sac, and it went very well. So in talking to the roadmaster, as we talk about fine-tuning this list
Right.
of roads to be chip sealed, we're going to talk about adding fog seal application to the cul-de-sac roads. We're going to talk about whether we want to continue with double chip seal, or if there are instances where a single coat might be suitable. So that's part of this process that we're going to be looking into. I'm not pursuing Cape Seal just because the cost is so much higher.
Right.
But that
Okay.
doesn't rule it out for doing it on a particular road in years to come, if that's the right process.
Okay, thank you very much.
So there's a Ryanford Road that's in terrible shape. Is that South Ryanford that's listed on here?
And that's actually going to be pulled off of this list because that needs to be resurfaced.
I was going to say that, I think
Yeah.
that needed, when I looked at it last year, it's pretty rough.
It
Okay.
is, yeah, that's been on the list to be resurfaced, and I know they're hoping to get there this year. South Ryanford needs some love before it gets chip sealed. Creekside needs some more love before it gets chip sealed. So those are a couple that we're probably going to pull off this list as we develop this bid package.
Okay.
And I'll give you a full report on that as we go forward.
All right, so it's not to exceed 3,000. You're going to fine-tune this with the roadmaster.
Yes.
You'll come back with that data at that time. Wonderful. Do you know a ballpark idea when you might have that for the next meeting, or?
For the next regular meeting, that should be possible.
February, the
yeah.
beginning of February?
Yeah, because the earlier we bid it, the better prices you get.
Exactly.
So
Oh, that's
why
I was
I'm
kind of
eager-
like.
That's why I'm
all right.
eager to keep it moving forward for you. exactly.
Terrific. All right, does anyone have any other questions or comments? Crystal?
Yes, I just wanted to see, can you guys hear me? Because I hear my voice is very, okay. Time frame, because I know with Gerloff, we had very hot weather. So what's the time frame on this project to begin? I know we're putting the bids in now, which is great,
Yep.
but when are we going to actually execute the project?
Great question. So by putting the bids in now, we get on their schedule earlier in their scheduled development, and we get better prices because they haven't already filled up their schedule. Before they do that chip seal work, we are going to have to do repairs to the road. So this won't be a first thing in the spring project, because we need to go out and do some base repairs on some of these roads before chip seal happens. There's only a couple of companies that do this work. There's not a huge number of them. So frankly, we're a bit at the mercy of their schedule. And they also have state contracts, other municipalities on their list. So honestly, we're a little bit at the mercy of their schedule. PennDOT specifications give them a deadline. I believe it's October 31st, but I need to double check that all this has to be done because that shuts the season down for the year. So all that's to say, I don't have a whole lot of control over exactly when it happens. In general, when it happens in the warmer time of the year, we make out better. But this year didn't go well for us and a lot of other people. Just the melting point on that emulsion wasn't quite jiving with the weather we had this past summer. So
Right,
I
so-
want to talk to the emulsion supplier about that. as
Perfect.
we
So we
put
can
this
at least keep
together.
that into consideration as far as when we're going to be doing this. So we're not running into the same situation, correct?
We're gonna talk to them about the measures they're taking to make sure that we don't run into the same situation.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, are we ready to make a motion? All right. So the motion is to authorize the township engineer at a cost not to exceed $3,000 to prepare the bid documents for the 2026 Oil and Chip Road project. This will include not only, will this include the equipment bid, or is that a separate thing? This is just.
That's
the-
separate.
I thought so, completely separate. So this is just the bid documents for the 2026 Oil and Chip Road project. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Supervisor Sachs makes the motion. Is there a second?
I will second.
Supervisor Hexter makes the second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, authorization to prepare a bid for the 2026 equipment bid. Okay.
All right, so the township annually puts out an equipment bid so that the Public Works Department can have support and some heavier equipment and help for projects like road repairs or installing storm sewer in some cases. And we've been doing that, the township has been doing that annually for a number of years now. So it's time to do it again. We will take the list of equipment that we had in last year's bid. I will review that with the township roadmaster to make sure that's the same equipment he wants on the bid this year, and put that bid together so that at the next meeting, the board can authorize advertisement of that.
Okay. And what is the number that we would like to assume not to exceed this year?
That's not as complex as the chip seal, so a not to exceed 1,700 would be plenty to get us bid.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Carol regarding the equipment bid? Okay, seeing none. The motion before us is to authorize the township engineer at a cost not to exceed $1,700 to prepare the bid documents for the 2026 equipment bid. I will make the motion. Is there a second?
I will make the second.
Supervisor Guarena makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Okay, next is the bid for the 2026, potentially 2028 sledge hauling award / and/or denial. I'll read this off for you, Jason, if that's okay, unless you wanted to. I have no objection. Okay. So there were 5 bids received for the sledge hauling RFP. The board can choose to accept the lowest responsible bidder or reject all of the bids received and do another request for proposal. They were opened on 12/30. Bob Preston from Hydroterra is finalizing the paperwork, so attached are the bid tabulations from the Tuesday bid opening and the tabulations from our last sledge haul. For your reference, as part of the finalized paperwork, he will determine the lowest possible bidder along with his recommendation. I wanted you to have something for the weekend while I wait for the final paperwork. So are we making this recommendation or we
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Okay,
I've
so we're not
talked to
waiting for
Bob,
Bob.
and I've talked to Bob about this numerous times. I've also looked through the apparent low bidder to
Right.
ensure that they are fully compliant with our bid packet, and they are.
Okay,
So Hydrotech.
They're the lowest.
Is the low bidder. They have provided all the necessary information to us. Bob is of the opinion that they are certainly capable of providing this service to us. The contract is awarded. The award of the contract is based on the 3 years' cost. That's why they're the apparent low bidder. However, the award of the contract should be only 1 year. We are awarding it for this first year, and then at the end of this first year, the township has the ability to extend it a second year And then at the end of the second year, we have the ability to extend it a third year, all based on the prices provided here.
Like, these prices are locked. We're not signing a
Yes.
3-year contract, we're signing a 1-year with the option to extend.
Yes.
And so
if
none
it-
of these, knowing because what it costs for sledge hauling and that they're going up, I like the option of being able to have a continuous,
Right.
almost set cost already
Yeah, so we
disclosed.
can set our costs for the next 3 years, but if, let's say, 6 months into this, we're like, these guys are awful, they're horrible, we want to, we're not locked in for another 2.5 years. We know we can get out and rebid it if we wanted to. Or if something crazy goes and we realize we can get a lot cheaper price, we could then rebid it again at the end of the first year or the end of the second year. But if things continue like they are now with the prices going up pretty severely, at least we have, for budgetary reasons, we know what we're going to be paying for the next 3 years. And looking at the prices, the total prices are much higher than what we are currently paying. However, what you have to realize is we're serving more and more properties, and so we're actually getting a higher volume of sewage and therefore a higher volume of sludge. The actual per gallon price is only going up 0.06 of a cent per gallon.
Okay.
So it's not a massive increase.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on this information?
I have a question. On the bid results we've been given, there is a large number for each of the bidders, and there's a smaller number under it. I'm assuming we add those together, but what is that smaller number?
Is that the
do-
pumping
represent?
stations?
Yes, that's clean, yeah,
Okay.
doing clean outs of the pumping stations, which will probably happen 2 or 3 times a year.
It's just odd that they're so different,
Yes.
just for that one thing.
Yes, and that's, that's why you do these bids. And if you look at bids like this, the differences in the costs are amazing. It's, some different companies have different capabilities, and that's reflected in what they bid. Other companies will basically, they build in costs. They'll decide, okay, we're going to build in the costs on this item, but not the other. And then another company will do it differently. And then there's other companies, like Carol was talking about with, the tar and shipping. There's companies that will bid on something saying, hey, if we get a high enough price, fine, we'll work it into our schedule, but we really don't need it. It's not a make or break, which is why we want to do the paving early on, because that way we get companies that are hungry for the work and not just doing it, to see if they can get a massive profit.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay. So I think we're going with the lowest responsible bidder based on the data that Peter has provided us after talking with Bob Preston, and that would be Hydrotech Environmental, LLC. And the motion is to award the bid for the 2026 to 2028 township sludge hauling to Hydrotech Environmental, LLC, and further authorize the township manager to sign any paperwork necessary to complete the agreement. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Supervisor Sachs makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
Supervisor Orff makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
One quick question. Where are they, the other waste sludge haulers indicated where they were from? Where are they from, just out of curiosity?
That's a question for Jason.
Yeah, because we see the other guys.
I was
are
thinking the
from-
same thing. Some of them probably have a
Lidditz,
higher
West
bid because of their
Chester.
distance that they have to travel.
Yeah, I was just curious
I-
where they were.
I have no idea where Hydrotech is a Pennsylvania company. I think their address is Pottstown, but don't hold me to that. I do believe Nolt and Wind River are both local. I don't know about the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's out in Lidditz and one's in
Okay.
Ivy Land. I was just curious if it was less because they were closer. If they're up in Pottstown, that would make sense. But never mind, just curious.
It shows up as Pennsburg.
Okay. So next up on our agreement this evening, our agenda this evening is a stormwater O&M agreement for 115 Babington Road. Peter, it says you've gone over it, it's compliant, it's all good.
It's my agreement, I prepared it.
Of course,
So-
okay.
And I've checked it, they didn't make any changes to what I sent out. It's our standard agreement that everyone signs. So, my recommendation would be for the board to authorize you to sign it.
Okay. So 115 Babington Road was before the board for a conditional use, and they received approval. I think that was last month.
Yes, yeah,
So
a
that
month
was
or two
last
ago,
month,
yes.
Okay. All righty. Okay, so there's a motion to approve the stormwater O&M agreement for 115 Babington Road and further authorize the chair to sign on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. Can I get a motion?
I move.
Supervisor Orff makes the motion. Is there a second?
I will second.
Supervisor Hexter makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously. And lastly on our agenda this evening is the 2025 Township Year in Review.
So I started this last year, and I thought it was just a good way to kind of recap all things within the township, since generally we're kind of focused on stuff we spend money on. So this includes other things. So in 2025, we had
Sorry, Jason, are you going to put anything up on the,
I can if
for
you
the
want.
Zoom folks, or for everyone? Do you think we'll be able to read it?
Okay. Can I go? All right, so we held our third annual Travis Ryder Blood Drive in July. We adopted the new non-uniform. We adopted the new non-uniform handbook effective January 1st of this year. That was a 30-year. That was replacing a 30-year old handbook. We finally completed the switch installment for the township building generator. As far as financing grants, we did adopt our 2026 fiscal year budget. We applied for a DCD grant for police vehicle purchase through Senator Pennycuck's office and received that vehicle. We applied for a local sharing grant for both the Coble Park Rehabilitation Phase 1 to 3 and the Zieglerville Road Sewer Extension projects. And we did receive notice of approval for police and admin projects, which we submitted under LSA grants in 2024 for another police vehicle, the township sign, and the township parking paving. As far as zoning planning, we updated our 2024 E-code ordinances, or we updated our E-code as of the end of 2024. The open burning updated code draft was approved for advertisement by the board. We also have a draft for the permit/use and occupancy code, which will be further discussed this year. We had 5 zoning hearing boards, 2 conditional use hearings. The village mixed use zoning district that Ernie brought up earlier was discussed by the PC and has been sent to the Board of Supervisors for discussion early this year. As far as police and emergency services, we did purchase that police interceptor with the grant money. Purchased less lethal beanbag shotguns, which was also part of that grant. The police held their annual trunk or treat, and we participated in National Night Out event. The Limerick drill was held in November through our emergency management members. As far as public works, roads and bridges, we did the completion of the 2025 oil and chip project of 4.46 miles. Third-party mowing contract was executed, allowing public works to complete additional projects. The Spring Mount Road sidewalk culvert installation project was completed. Simmons Road Bridge repair was completed by our Public Works Department, along with several stormwater inlet replacements on various roads. Connex boxes were purchased for the Public Works facility, allow for additional storage space, and a new fence was installed on that side, on the park side. Our yearly street sweeping was done. We installed a traffic light detection system at North Gravel Pike and Spring Mount Road. We did receive a $100,000 anonymous donation for purchase of land for a new public works facility. As far as sewer, we started our I&I project throughout the township to identify stormwater infiltration. We had 21 new sewer connections, which primarily most of those were Farmview. And these are completed where they're paying they're connected. The Zieglerville Road lower pressure system planning was completed. As far as parks, recreation, and open space, Park and Rec held a successful December fundraiser, raising close to $3,000. That'll be allocated for much-needed park improvements. Park and Rec commenced their community art initiative with fence painting at both Cuddy and Foy Park. 38 acres of farmland preserved on Sepp Road via the state, county, and local Frederick Township was completed at the beginning of the year. It was the Library property. Park and Rec held 3 summer concerts, the annual Easter egg hunt, annual spring festival, multiple book club events, and their annual fall fest. EAC held Birdtown and Rain Garden workshop events throughout the township and created the Lower Frederick Wilds community resource page that's on our website. Park and Rec purchased a much-needed temporary shade sail for the dog park, which is to be installed in 2026. Park and Rec, along with Upper Salford and Upper Frederick, held the movie on the mountain at Spring Mountain. Park and Rec held multiple Perkiomen and Pacers events with Birdtown, Pennypacker Mills, Upper Schuylkill Valley Park, and Upper Salford Historical Society. EAC Park and Rec teamed up successfully to execute the park recycling program at both Cuddy and Coble Park, which will continue in 2026. And Park and Rec closed the Coble Park questionnaire that was open for public response, which those results will be shared in 2026. As far as community county projects, we changed the quarterly e-newsletter into a monthly e-newsletter that provides information regarding topics near and far, or here and near. The Foy Park playground equipment repair was completed and new mulch installed. The Township Connection and Linkage Priority Memo document was created via the PC. This will be adopted in 2026 by the Board of Supervisors. Polling locations were changed to middle school. Both polling locations were changed to middle school west for the general election, and the feedback we got that it was successful. As far as subdivisions land development, Melbourne Hills site work has been primarily, the infrastructure has been completed. House construction is currently put on hold. The Loctite land development maintenance period was waived as stabilization of the site was confirmed and nothing was needed to be dedicated to the township. Farmview site work infrastructure was started, completed. Houses are being constructed and sold currently. The JEP Gentera, or 225 Big Road, developer presented a sketch plan to the PC. Arcadia Station subdivision was finally moved into a dedication status after several years. Artisan Land Development, or the Landis Tract, received conditional, preliminary, and final plan approval by the board in December. Sylvia's Gymnastic Land Development, the permits have been issued for that work. Leckmar Land Development, site work continues. The Willows, which is 2 Smith Road sketch plan, was presented to the PC, I think that was November. And along with the 115 Second Avenue sketch plan was also review was presented to the PC. So that is the year in review for Lower Frederick.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Was the police department renovation done last year, or was it the year before?
That was 24.
Seems like it was just yesterday.
Yes. Still happy with it. Very happy with it.
Okay, we are going to, did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. With respect to the Lechmar land development, site work continues. Do we know what is left to be done on their site? I guess that's for Carol.
Primarily paving work is left to be done on that site, and it's a little cold to do it right now, obviously. We're hoping that they get that underway in the spring.
Okay, and
I think
am I
there's still
right?
some work inside the building,
Yeah.
but that's not mine. That belongs to Barry
Okay.
Isett.
And do they have, what do you call those, like what we just, township just installed over by our work building? I thought they had like a big storage unit by their facility recently.
I don't recall that being on the plans.
Okay.
I think we were anticipating they'd move some of their storage inside that building.
Okay.
And I don't know where that building stands with the code officer, whether or not they can move that material in there yet or not. That's unfortunately outside of my purview.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Okay, we are now going to move on to the public comment portion of our meeting. Does anyone have any public comments? Okay, no one on Zoom? Okay, we can move on to supervisor comment. Do any of our supervisors have any comments?
I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. It was nice to see everyone out. Hopefully it can continue. We have a lot of people here physically, and we have a lot of people on Zoom. Some are coming and going, and it would be really nice to see more of this. This is why we're up here doing this, and it's for you guys. And the more comments that come in and the more concerns that get to us, the better off we can make the changes that are needed for you guys, the residents. Thank you.
Hear, hear, Crystal. Thank you very much. I only have one thing to add before we adjourn this evening, and is that we are, after the meeting, we are headed into an executive session to discuss personnel.